once again for the renegade master. Back 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 once again for the renegade master.
Hello, my little renegade people, and we are back. And what is it we are back to? We are back to Married at First Sight Australia, Series 10, Episode 2. So, let's get into it. So, from the last episode, which was episode 1, we saw Lyndall and Cam get married, and we saw Bronte and Harrison get married. So, we see that Lyndall and Cam wake up, basically, and they are quite happy with each other, and they're happy to go off on their honeymoons. And then it comes to Bronte and Harrison. Here we go, with the Bronte and Harrison Chronicles. That's what I'm going to call them, Bronte and Harrison Chronicles. If you like that, please put it down in the comments and let me know. Well, anyway, what we do know is that they slept separately. And for the recap, for the people that haven't watched the first episode or haven't got into Married at First Sight Australia, where the hell have you been? You should be here already and taking in the information. Well, anyway, so as we know, at the wedding with Bronte and Harrison, Bronte's friend has opened up a whole box. Well, as we say, a whole box, Pandora's box, in terms of her revelations in regards to Harrison not being the person that he says he is. Because Harrison apparently has had someone on the outside world who he was in a relationship before, a week before coming into mass, basically making promises to this person that it wasn't going to work out with the person that he was married to. He's just doing it for X, Y, and Z. He's going to come out and then be with that person. Key point I said in my last video is to remember that this friend of Bronte's did show her evidence. She did not come empty-handed with empty promises saying, I've got something to tell you about your man, and then show nothing. She showed Bronte proof out in terms of what the friend was saying. So then we flip back to the actual new matches that are coming up. So you've got Sandy. She grew up in India, but she's basically talking about how the fact that the two cultures are quite hard to mesh together. So she also talks more deeply about the fact that she's going against her cultural traditions in terms of her parents, and basically saying that she's a grown woman, which is true. She's a damn grown woman. She can make her own decisions, and she wants to make her decisions for her. She doesn't want to be making them for other people. She wants to do what makes her happy, which is admirable, to be fair. But I also think that when you've got, say, shows like Married at First Sight, at the end of the day, it is kind of like a matchmaking show, is it not? It is kind of like arranging marriages, is it not? Because it's the experts that are finding these people and putting them together based on what they say they're looking for. So isn't that kind of like an arranged marriage in a sense? Thoughts in the comments in regards to the concept of the show itself. Because me, myself, I would say it is kind of like an arranged marriage type of show. She's never been in a relationship. So she thinks that this experiment will give her time to spend time with someone who can try and break down her barriers and see her for who she is, basically. Sometimes I think that the people looking for other people, or their expectations of the experts and their matching skills in that sense, is a bit high. I sometimes think they come into this experiment as well with their own thoughts and how they think things will pan out, or how they believe the person they're going to match to will be, because I think they're expecting everything to be perfect, and as we know in this world, nothing is ever bloody perfect. So we then move on to Sandy's match, which is Danny, or Dan as he likes to be called. He's a hard working man too. He's driven like Sandy. They both have their own businesses. He also has a daughter, and he would want someone who is strong, independent, and guided in her own beliefs, and is sure about herself and in her own growth. And he'd like to be able to support a woman like that in terms of pushing her to greater new heights. Basically, when the experts talk, they talk about that Sandy wants stability, and believe that Dan could be her guide in that. They could both establish a safe space, because Sandy is afraid of being judged by her lack of experience. And they believe that Dan is the type of person who may be able to take it slow with her and get to know her. But as I said, we'll have to see what transpires with these two. I ain't saying I'm holding out hopes at the moment, because to me, looking at them, they don't seem like they match to me. But hey ho, we shall see if the experts have got that right. Then we go to Jesse, the celebrant, and his match is Claire. Now, Claire seems absolutely lovely. She's loud, she's wacky, she's kind of just like Jesse in that sense. But the one thing I will say about Jesse is he's got so many freaking icks. This man has a list of icks.
Are we ready? I think the best place to start is girls who are addicted to their phones, social media, motivational quotes, hustle and grinding. Who do you think you are? Any girl who calls me honey, sweetie, you're not my auntie. Chicks who are always talking, who always interrupt you. Any girl who starts a sentence with, oh my God, babe. Star sign chicks. Oh my God, that's such a Libra thing to do. I'm not Libra. Now you're getting agitated. That's such a Leo thing. Not a Leo either. What are you then? My birthday's in July. That makes total sense now. Shut up. Mirror selfies, dirt on the mirror, gym photos, butt, boob, bikini, chicks who pout.
I thought it was going to be a 2-page jobby. But no, it was a whole page jobby. But I honestly thought it was going to be a 2-page jobby. And with everything that he's reading out, there's no woman on God's green earth that is not going to have at least 1 or 2 of those things that he's read out. So I'm sorry, but I'll be believing this man's destined to be on his own for the rest of his motherfucking life, because he's been single for 7 years. And then I think to myself, is it any wonder why? I mean, you've probably dated certain women, wrote down things you didn't like about them, and then use this as your guide in the dating pool, which doesn't necessarily work like that. So if I was Jesse, I'd be going back to the drawing board and actually looking inward and looking at himself and how he can change in that sense. So you've got, as I said, you've got Claire, who's quite outspoken, outgoing, quite loud, quite brassy. Something that actually Jesse said he wanted in a woman. So Claire grew up in a big Greek family, and that's who she is. She's someone who is quite honest and can express herself. So comparing those two together, you would think that they would mesh quite well together. So basically, we then pan to Sandy, who hasn't told her parents at that stage about the fact that she is going to be on this show, about the fact that they have found her someone to marry, and about the fact that she's going to be getting married very promptly. So we do see Sandy go to her parents' house. They didn't agree for the cameras to enter, which I would say is respectful, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want cameras in a private conversation with my daughter or with my family being aired out to the world. That's not how the world works, even though we're in a big, massive, like, social media era and everybody wants to be on camera. It's not always about that, so they respected the wishes of the family. So basically, she basically wants them to be happy for her, but she knows that they're more worried about what the community will say, especially being in a public forum, especially being on camera, and especially having everybody watch what plays out within her marriage. So as time goes on, it skips and Sandy comes out and she's absolutely devastated. She's in absolute tears. And I'm just like, the cameraman or whoever it is, the producer or whoever it is that talks to them as it goes on, didn't even give her time to process what had been said with her family, or give her a little bit of space and back off until he was like, what happened? Let us know what was said. What was the decision? So basically, it appears as though the parents may disown her, because basically she was trying to speak to her dad and mum about the process that she's going through, and she said that her mother says that if she does this, they don't want anything to do with her. all Sandy wants is to be accepted. All Sandy wants is somebody that's going to respect her for her. All Sandy wants is to build a relationship with someone that she's probably been wishing for quite a time. I mean, she's 30 something years old. She's not been on a date. She's never been in a relationship with a man. This is her first time in foraying into that, and she wanted her parents to accept her decision as a grown woman in her right, and they couldn't do that for her. She just wanted them to stop thinking about what anybody else thought, but actually be happy for the daughter. So Sandy said that she went back to the room, was in absolute tears, didn't know which way to go, reached out to one of her friends, and basically a friend sent a really eloquent text message, and Sandy did read out the text. I won't say the whole text, but in summary, she was basically saying that, you know, she's doing something for others, especially other young girls in her position, who may be stuck at home and not able to pursue the dreams that they wish, so she needs to keep carrying on her trajectory and down her path. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant, because it set out what Sandy wanted to do in a nutshell, basically, and she knew why she was doing it as well. So my hope is that whoever gets Sandy, because I like Sandy, that whoever gets Sandy treats her well and treats her with the dignity that she deserves. The fact that Sandy's sisters came out and was there for her wedding was absolutely spectacular. She was able to draw her influence from them, because she is the oldest of four. She's got 2 sisters and 1 brother, and her brother came and walked her down the aisle, and that was just absolutely fantastic to see, because at least if she didn't have her parents there, yes, she was missing her parents and she felt the absence of them not being there, but she still had her siblings be there for her. Basically, it goes through to the venue, and now Sandy is dressed in full regalia, her full culture, in reds, in golds, in all those colours, basically, and the venue is dressed more or less the same. So it did disturb me a little bit when you got Dan's friends and family walk in, and they're all like, oh my god, faces stuck up in the air, and I was kind of a little bit on tenterhooks, thinking, I really hope no one's going to say anything untoward or be a little bit racist at this moment in time. But fears were allayed, because when Sandy and Dan started to say their vows, they actually liked Sandy, because Sandy was quite witty. She was quite witty and she was quite funny. They actually did like her, and they joined in. Then it goes on to Claire and Jessie. What more can I say about these two? But these two look like an honest to God match. Right, remember when I said Jessie talked about icks? Yeah, remember when I said he talked about his icks? Well, one of his icks is the star sign girls. Well, he didn't call them girls, he called them chicks. We women are not chicks. We didn't hatch from the butt of a chicken from a motherfucking egg. Okay, we're women. So, when I say he said he doesn't like star sign girls, that means the girls that are very much into birthdays, the solar system, the star signs, and what it means and why it makes you act a certain way. He's not into that. But Claire is. And what made me laugh is they were getting on so well. They really liked each other, and he found her to be so hot and everything. She really liked him, and they were literally on the same page with each other, until it came to the wedding reception, and they sat down and ate the meal, and then you get Claire turn her head and ask him straight out about his birthday, when his birthday is, and then he just looks at her like that. Now I can see the wheel turning in that man's head, as if to say, oh shit, please don't be one of those girls. Please, I'm begging you, don't be one of those girls. She was. She was one of those girls. But I told ya, you heard it from me. I told you the list of icks this man put down. There'd be not one woman out there that didn't touch at least one or two of those motherfucking icks. Okay? So his whole face just dropped, especially when he told her when his birthday was, and then she told him what sign he was and what it meant. And then it cut to him and he's like, oh no, oh no. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, why aren't you motherfucking necking? Because not a few seconds ago, you was finding this girl hot as hell. Do you know what I mean? You didn't absolutely care what was coming out of her mouth because she was hot as hell. And the fact that you had so much in common with each other. Now you're going to go freeballing it because she's got one of your bloody icks on the list. Well, not just one, two, because she's into crystals too. So she then puts her hand in her bra and basically pulls out a crystal and then starts telling him about the crystals that she's literally had encompassed under her breasticles, basically. And there was so much tension because Jesse didn't even know what to say. He was just sitting there like, I'm trying to go with this conversation, but this conversation is turning me off this person and I don't know what to do. So he's saying that he's concerned that he's moving into ick territory. But then I'm like, it was going so well. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, right, you've been dating for long enough. You've been single for 7 years. Have you questioned why you're single for 7 years, Jesse? I mean, maybe your list of icks is not working for you because you first get an ick and then that's it, you're off. You're off into the blue motherfucking yonder. I mean, he needs to just literally relax his soul and wind his bloody neck in and just get to know Claire for who she is. Because I guarantee you she'll probably be an absolutely perfect person for you, but you're going to spoil it with your bullishness around bloody icks, for God's sake. We then move back to Dan and Sandy. Sandy thinks Danny's amazing. And then they go and have a little chat by themselves. Basically, Sandy says that he makes her feel safe and accepted. And I'll say it again, I just hope he's the right one for her, and I hope he treats her right, and she's able to like probably prove her family wrong in that sense. She says, you know, as we know, she's stepped out of her comfort zone and her cultural norms and have gone against her parents for this. So Sandy is definitely in the mind frame of, I need to make this marriage work. I need to prove my parents wrong, that I can make this decision for myself and it will go right for me. So I really hope it does go right for her, because no telling what would happen if it don't. Do you know what I mean? So then we go to Jesse and Claire. Back to Jesse and Claire. Jesse and his bloody ex. Now, this man is in danger of messing up his connection with Claire completely. He's still harping on the bloody star signs and now saying that she's turning him off, and that he's definitely stepped into ick territory. I'm like, Jesse, really, mate? Really, mate? You've been alone for 7 years. 7 years. Have you not questioned why you've been on your own for 7 years? And you conduct bloody weddings. Weddings, my dear. She pulls out a crystal. She got him a crystal. Basically, you know, gives it to him, tells him what the crystal's for. And he does, in the end, he does accept it. He does move on. Why does he move on from the subject? Because Claire is hot, is what he says. Nothing else about her, just that she's really hot. So he's going to try and overlook that part. He's going to try and overlook that part. And all I'm thinking is, Jesse, you're stepping in your own bloody way, mate. You really are. You're stepping in your own way. I have to say, as I said, I do like Claire, but at the moment, Jesse's not winning any brownie points. But as I said, you let me know what you think in the comment section in regards to this episode and how you think Jesse has portrayed himself. And anything else you wish to say to me? Because I keep saying this all the time, but nobody ever puts a bloody comment in the comment section. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, so Claire and Jessie are off on their hollybobs. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say hollybobs, would you? You'd say the honeymoon, wouldn't you? Yeah, they're off on the honeymoon and they appear to be excited. So fingers crossed, I was hoping that it goes well. But we then see them at the spot where they're staying, and things don't seem to have gone very well. Jessie starts on again with the negatives about Claire and the fact that he believes she's going to annoy him. Now we know Claire is a talker, always has been a talker, but I'm just saying that that's not a bad thing. She's out there and she's an excitable person. And I said there'd be probably trouble in paradise because Jessie's going to step in his own bloody way, and I wasn't wrong. So basically what's happened is Claire has got overexcited. They're at the airport. She's chatting, and he's basically shushed her a couple of times. Now, women, if you hear me, we all know what it feels like to be shushed by a dude or a significant other. And it isn't nice. Because he's lucky because if it were me, oh, he would have got his ass handed to him for shushing me. I'm telling you that now. Now, this sends Claire into a spiral of being upset because all her life she's been told to shush, she's been told to be quiet, she's been told to dim her light basically, and that's where this has thrown her back to. So it's kind of a trigger for her. I'm just like, you've learned nothing. Jessie has learned nothing from all the issues that he may have had with previous partners to being on his own for 7 years. You've literally learned nothing, and you're following the same pattern that you've probably followed again and again and again and again and again. And I would say, has it worked out for you, Jessie? Has it? Has it really? Been on your own for 7 years, so it ain't worked out really, has it? In that sense. That's why you've come on this show, to try and find somebody that you can connect with. You need to literally get those icks, fucking scrunch them up and throw them into the pits of bloody hell and forget about them, and see the person that Claire could be with you. But as again, you're going to keep stepping in your own way with this rubbish. So basically they're talking, and he's going on about how she was at the airport, that she was quite a bit loud. So Claire was basically saying, are you trying to tell me to shut up? He doesn't tell her that directly, but indirectly he does tell her that basically. So I'm saying, when you are trying to say that someone's too loud or speaks too much, you're trying to dampen them, you're trying to quiet the person that they are to fit in with the mold that you want them to be, and that's not fair on Claire. So my thing would be with some of these couples, where the pattern is, I'm starting to see they really need to take on some fucking therapy before they even think about setting foot in an experiment like this to put their shit onto other people, because it isn't fair. It isn't fair to the person that you're going to be meeting. So then it moves on to the next episode, and it seems that Jessie and Claire's issues continue, and we see another day of Bronte, another day of drama between Bronte and Harrison. And then we also see who the next couples getting married will be. So as I've always said, I hope you like this video. I hope you like hearing me talk. I would like to interact with more people. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit those notifications, and I'll see you back again. No, I'm not going to say at the same time, because it ain't going to be the same time. It's going to be wherever time I want to. But I'll be back again.